The millionaire sheikh spoke in Arabic to mock the staff, but when one maid responded, the entire room froze. It was a dazzling gala in Los Angeles. Velvet curtains, crystal chandeliers, and guests draped in designer fashion. Among them stood Sheikh Tariq Al-Fulan, a billionaire oil magnate from the Middle East, known as much for his wealth as his sharp tongue. He wasn't cruel, just untouchable. People walked on eggshells around him, especially staff. He believed most Americans were lazy, loud, and uneducated, and never missed a chance to say it in Arabic, assuming no one understood him. That night, the ballroom buzzed with laughter as trays of hors d'oeuvres floated past polished shoes. Waiters moved swiftly, heads down, hoping to avoid the sheikh's scrutiny. At the edge of the room, Layla adjusted her apron, eyes alert. She was new, just 2 weeks into her job at the upscale catering service. She needed the money to pay off her mother's hospital bills, and this shift paid double. As she offered a tray of drinks near the sheikh's circle, he said something in Arabic to his guests. They laughed, but Layla froze. His words weren't harmless. They were sharp, insulting, directed at the staff, calling them decorations without brains. No one else reacted, until Layla turned her head slightly, looked directly at him, and replied, in fluent, flawless Arabic, "Respect is a mirror, sir. What you throw at it always reflects back." The laughter stopped. Glasses lowered. The room went still. Even Sheikh Tariq blinked, stunned. Layla didn't wait for applause. She simply walked away, leaving behind a silence heavier than any speech. The silence clung to the walls even after Layla disappeared behind the serving doors. Staff whispered. Guests shifted, unsure of what they'd just witnessed. A billionaire sheikh, silenced by a maid. Tariq Al-Fulan stood motionless, the echo of her words ringing in his ears. He wasn't just shocked that she understood Arabic. It was the way she said it. No anger, no fear, just calm strength, something even his business rivals rarely showed him. He turned to the waiter beside him. "Who is that girl?" The waiter shrugged nervously. "She's new, just works weekends." Tariq walked away from his circle and toward the kitchen, something no one had ever seen him do. Not in 20 years of hosting galas. Inside, Layla was catching her breath, regretting what she'd said. "You're going to get fired," one coworker whispered. But instead of security, it was the sheikh himself who entered the kitchen. Everyone stepped aside like waves parting for a storm. He walked straight up to Layla. "You speak Arabic like someone raised with it," he said, still in Arabic. Layla met his gaze. My father was a language professor in Damascus." A flicker of something crossed his face. Recognition? Regret? "And what are you doing serving shrimp skewers in Los Angeles?" he asked. "My father passed. My mom's sick. This pays faster than a degree." For the first time that night, the sheikh didn't have a smug reply. Instead, he nodded once. "Finish your shift. We'll speak after." Then he turned, leaving a room full of staff frozen in disbelief. Layla finished her shift with nerves dancing under her skin. Every time the kitchen door swung open, she expected a manager to fire her, or worse. But nothing happened. Not until the final tray was stacked and the last guest gone. When she stepped outside into the cool night, a sleek black car was waiting at the curb. A driver approached her with a slight bow. "Mr. Al-Fulan would like a word." Heart pounding, Layla followed the driver into the back of the luxury SUV. Inside, Sheikh Tariq sat calmly, his gaze not stern but curious. "You spoke with dignity," he said. "That's rare." Layla stayed quiet, unsure if this was a compliment or a test. "I have investments in Dubai, Amman, even Beirut," he continued. "But no one back home has spoken to me like that since my sister. She was a teacher too." Layla's breath caught. What happened to her? "She passed during the war. I've built towers in her name, but buildings can't talk back." He opened a folder and slid it toward her. Inside, a full scholarship offer. Any university of her choice. A contract to join his cultural foundation after graduation. A new start. "Why?" Layla whispered. "Because the world silenced my sister. And you, reminded me what her voice used to sound like. Tears blurred her vision, but she nodded, speechless this time. 1 year later, the same ballroom hosted another grand event. Only this time, the guests weren't billionaires flaunting their wealth, but educators, translators, and cultural leaders from across the globe. Cameras flashed, reporters whispered, and at the center of it all stood Layla, in a graceful navy gown, speaking confidently in fluent Arabic and English. She was now director of the Tariq Foundation for Language and Dignity, a nonprofit built to give voice to the unheard, just like she once was. Across the room, Sheikh Tariq watched her with quiet pride. No fanfare, no announcement, just a respectful nod when their eyes met. One reporter asked him, "Why her?" He answered softly, "Because when the room was loud with pride, only she listened, and when it was silent with fear, only she spoke." Layla smiled. Once a maid with dreams too heavy to carry, now a leader helping others find their voice.